term, which was expected to get the 20% of the total capitation, has not been covered in the disbursement. And you remember, this is the shortest term that we have. It is not only short, but this is also the term when schools will close early because of the national exams. So I have a short speech as a statement which we would wish the general public to know the position that Kuppet takes and what we expect to be done. As we speak, not a single school has received the funds for the third term. Many schools are yet to receive the funds for the second term due to the inefficiencies of the National Education Management Information System, always called NEMIS. In the most extreme situations, some schools have not received funds at all since the beginning of the year, owing to the same NEMIS system. For the last category of schools, the government blamed a major hitch on NEMIS. The main problem was that the system had rejected some learners' birth certificates, which is a mandatory data field in the system. So we wonder what is this that we have? Education is a right, and the government has taken us an undertaking that they are going to pay fees. And the only way that they pay fees to schools is through normal disbursement, which is a normal government budgetary allocation to reach schools. We have heard it more often when communication comes from the ministry, especially from the PS, that the funds have reached schools. But from what we have, the situation is dire, and it requires a lot to be done. We are also at a loss as to how much time the government needs to fix flaws in the system. We also are puzzled by the government's continued failure to feed actual figures that its officers in the field, including the sub-county and zonal levels, have verified from schools. If the system cannot operate because of data, and disbursement cannot be released to schools because of data, and the same data which is being fed on the system is collected by individuals, what makes it difficult for the government to ensure that these figures that they are manually collected are used to disburse funds to school? In addition, schools have also been affected by sudden change in the disbursement of the 6,000 meant for infrastructure. Sometimes in last year, the government chose now to send money to schools in form of percentages. That first term is 50%, second term 30%, and third term 20%. So in the process, the school managers who are not having the necessary competencies are at a loss on how to isolate 6,000 from first term disbursement, from second term and third term. So these are the things which we feel are bottlenecks and real bureaucratic processes which the government has made, making running schools more difficult. In the light of the cash crisis facing the schools since the opening of the schools early this week, we would like to state therefore as follows. The government must immediately unlock the funds and disburse them to schools. The time for blame games between the ministry and the treasury is now over. Our principals want to see the funds in their schools' accounts so that they can run their institutions smoothly. Something which is very interesting is that for schools which are at sub-county level, you cannot explain to them that the funds have not been sent. Most of these schools are day schools. And these schools are not supposed to charge any monies. The boarding schools in this country can charge money for boarding because that is not covered by government disbursement in the form of capitation. Now, these schools which are big, which can run, because they are charging boarding fees, are off the hook. But the schools which are at the sub-county level have no option but to wait for government capitation. Kenyans, you know, will definitely now blame teachers that you have received the money and you are not running the school well. And yet now that's why you see the issue of school fires and so on. The funds should be released based on the actual number of students the government officers have verified at the school level, and not merely on those successfully captured by NEMIS. I've already indicated to you that NEMIS had been designed to fail because it appears some people at the ministry are hell-bent to ensure that the process of capitation does not succeed in giving the correct data, and therefore some schools cannot get capitation. You realize a school which has 600 students have only been given capitation for 420 students. That means that over 180 students are in that school, and they feed on the strength of others. This is not an acceptable mode of operations that we expect from a civilized society, a system that works. We challenge the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Professor George Magoha, to assure the country that there are no cartels who are hell-bent to defeat the NEMIS system of data capture. Let him come out and tell us that the ministry is free from these cartels who are enjoying the confusion and therefore making our operations as teachers of this country difficult. Most schools have been stretched to their financial limits, and third term being third term, fee collection is terribly bad, because for those who are doing exams, the parents know that they will not be sent away from school. And that means if they have got fee arrears, it is difficult now to send them away. Third term is also very short. We therefore expect for the process to be sustained, for our schools to be stable, the government must take responsibility and ensure that school fees capitation is seamlessly free of any hitches. We urge our teachers, who are basically the school managers, to take all the necessary measures to address any unease among students. In this morning, we have just received information that some schools, a school in Migori County was on fire. And we don't know the reasons for why, but perhaps it is because the schools are stretched. We don't want to bring rumors, but we want to categorically say that our principals must be extra careful and vigilant to ensure that the period is not affected by commotion simply because somebody has not disbursed funds. This is necessary to maintain the normalcy that schools have enjoyed in the recent years after a period of alarming student unrest in third term, which we have experienced in the past. I think this is what we have for the press, unless you have some